A beautiful day to you. Welcome to Citizens Dialogue, where we break down issues shaping our economic, our politics, our leadership, and our everyday lives. Now let's look at what's trending. Turaki-led PDP holds NEC meeting. Plans Caretaker committee amid leadership crisis. Workers protest at Unijust over welfare, renegotiation delay. I am Cassie Tony. I'll be right back after this break. Stay with us. Joining us now to break down these headlines and answer most of our hard questions is a political analyst, Okoro Vincent. Good to have you join us, Vincent. It's a beautiful day this Tuesday morning.
It's my pleasure to be here once again.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure having you on set.
Thanks.
All right, following the Supreme Court judgment on PDP faction, the Turaki-led faction, and the Wike-led faction, we could recall that in November 2025, the Turaki-led faction had their convention, which they came up with Turaki faction. Now, the Supreme Court ruling on the 30th of April 2026, they nullify this Turaki faction that
and
they
the convention.
did not. Yes. That they did not meet INEC's demand, that the 21 days notice, INEC did not respond to it. Now, following the Supreme Court ruling on that very day, April 30th, the Turaki-led faction, they are arguing that the PDP is with no leadership, that there's a vacuum in the PDP, there's no leadership in the PDP. In your own view as a political analyst, does the BOT actually have the constitutional authority under the PDP's own bylaw to convey this NEC meeting?
Okay, the BOT, was more or less the body, the what I can refer to as the highest decision-making body of PDP, especially the absence of a duly constituted leadership structure. Now, the national, a duly constituted national working committee.
Yeah.
So, in the absence of a duly constituted national working committee, the power falls on the BOT to put the party together, call for meeting, set a timetable, appoint caretaker committee where necessary, and whatever action that may be necessary. So now, at the end of the day, the Supreme Court haven't dissolved the Turaki-led faction and also put to bed the Abdul Rahman Mohammed-led faction, which is loyal to the Wike, the FCT minister. Then it means that everything now falls back on the board of trustees of the PDP, led by Senator Wabara and other elders of the party. Now, in their own wisdom, they decided to call for a meeting and see how the party will not remain stagnant, especially as 2027 is far approaching. Now, the question now is, in calling for the meeting, PDP is not, in as much as the power has been conferred on them or the baton has been handed over to them, you will agree with me that it is not only them that make up the PDP. Now, the fact that there's no recognized NWC, whether on the part of Turaki, that is loyal to Makinde and his co-travelers, or the FCT minister, that of Abdulrahman Mohammed, in as much as both of them are no longer on the stage, that doesn't mean that PDP is now made up of only the board of trustees. So ordinarily, you now expect that the board of trustees will carry out the activity in line with what what is right or what is seeming right in the eyes of every other member of PDP and the public. So in calling for this meeting, have they been able to consider the do's and the don'ts as far as the expectation of other members of PDP as it is today is concerned? I think that is where the question lies.
Okay, so you said if they've actually carried out due diligence in doing out in knowing
what to do, what not to do, when to do and when not to.
But when we look at power dynamics and alliances, we're seeing Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State, and the one-time minister that's Turaki. They seem to be the one leading this charge.
Exactly.
Leading this meeting. Is it a genuine attempt? Because them trying to lead this NEC meeting, is it a genuine attempt to save the party, or are they looking at a strategic move to lock out the Wike-backed faction ahead of 2027 primaries?
Good. Now, on the surface, you will say that somebody is trying to, or a group of people are trying to save the PDP towards 2027.
Okay.
So that we don't find a situation where it's going to be PDP will be so that the PDP will not be out of the ballot. Now on the surface, that's what you think. Now, but when you now look inward, you are talking about Senator Wabara and his group. That is the boat.
Yeah.
You are talking about Seyi Makinde, and other critical stakeholders that are more or less in the same block in PDP. Then you are talking about the erstwhile NWC led by Taminu Turaki. Now, if you look at it, you see that all this group that I just mentioned, they belong to the same block. So that is where you now begin to see that, okay, this old meeting that has just been called just a fortnight after the Supreme Court judgment is more or less like, if you look beyond the surface, it's more or less like a particular block in the PDP is trying to adjust the structure of the party again. So that's what I'm saying there.
Okay, so we've actually seen something like this before, this next parallel battles before in Nigerian politics. They often lead to sometimes formal splitting or coming up with a new party. That's maybe new PDP or a new other political party. Now, is this reconciliation of bringing this Wike faction and Turaki faction together, is reconciliation still possible, or is it a permanent divorce inevitable? Like they are just splitting, there's no possibility of them coming back together?
It's a matter of the individuals involved. It's a matter of shared values.
Okay.
It's a matter of individual values. It's a matter of interest. It's a matter of ambition. It's a matter of where they are coming from, the history that binds these people together. It's a matter of what the leadership, as it is today, for example, the board of trustees, it's a matter of what they want, the direction they are heading. It's even a matter of whether the opposition have not planted moles in the midst of the PDP, in the party hierarchy as it were. So whatever direction they are heading, either for reconciliation or forming new faction, if you remember very well, during the last election, 2023, before 2023 election, we had the new PDP, which today it's like it is gone for good. But such re-emerging again is not something that we can just put away. And possibly that is what we're about seeing again now.
All right, thank you so much for that analysis. Now, for our viewers' sake, in one sentence, who currently holds the key to PDP secretariat? Is it the law, the governors, or the board of trustees? Okay,
I will simply say it's a combination of all of this. But more importantly, we should be looking at the law.
Okay, thank you, Vincent, for that analysis. Very quickly, we'll move away from that to a major development. We know that education is a vital key. That is one of the most important innovation or countries, how will I put it, placard, that any country that comes, they'll see the education system and they'll value it, just like our politicians or the wealthy-to-do are sending their children overseas to the diaspora to study. If perhaps the education system there wasn't good, do you think that Nigerians will send their children abroad to go and study if their education system is not good. Now I'm bringing this to the NASU and the and the SSANU now on an indefinite strike. This strike will see that academic activities are being halted. Students are at home. Students who have probably 4 years to go through school or 5 years thereabout, they tend to spend longer time because our government has subdued educational system. They have swept it under the carpet and lecturers are going on strike. In your view as an analyst, is this a failure of negotiation or a deeper issue of budgetary priorities?
Whether it's a failure of negotiations, among the party, that's the SANU, NASU, and the government in this case, or failure of
budgetary
priorities, yes. Now, first and foremost, personally, myself as an individual and a free citizen of this country, I wanted to start giving credit to Tinubu-led government, for the fact that we are into the fourth year of his administration, and we have not been seeing incidents of a strike, both in our public school, both the polytechnic and the universities. And more importantly, we are seeing a lot of development across our higher institutions. For example, if you go to higher institutions such as the University of Port Harcourt and the likes, you will see the presence of a TED fund, do a lot of things that we can refer to as being as wonderful, or a shift from what it used to be. Like personally myself, I was among a team of engineers that carried out a massive renovation of hostel buildings and other infrastructure in the University of Port Harcourt, for example. Now, I saw that the usual money is allocated to a project and then the project is not executed, was not there. Now, TED fund, we are on ground to make sure that every detail of the contract awarded to contractors were executed to the letter. So now, then across our federal universities, you see that in as much as we are looking at how public power infrastructure can become what we want it to be, but you see that while the plans are on to revitalize the power sector, across the country for the public generally, our federal universities across the country are being powered by solar now, which is a credit to the federal government, because you will not keep the people in darkness while you are, especially in a higher institution that is the builder of our future. You will not put them in darkness because one 10 megawatt power station must come up in Kogi State before they will have power. So the government moving to make sure there is availability, constant power supply across our campuses, which led personally me myself to begin to give credit to the Tinubu-led administration that, yes, they are prioritizing the education sector.
Because now you're making reference to Rivers State. We don't really know what actually happens in other states. If the same innovation is going on there as well. It's actually
going on across federal universities in the country. Yes, I can tell you that for free. Now, I was giving credit to the Tinubu-led government for the good they are doing as far as the education sector is concerned, in as much as there's still much to be desired. Now, just for us to wake up and begin to see that it's like you are robbing Peter to pay Paul when public university infrastructures are going on, and then those who are to man them are more or less in a dissatisfactory mood. Because if NASU, SANU, their members are satisfied, as far as condition of work is concerned, as far their past requests that are valid and legitimate are concerned, that the government themselves met with them and said, okay, this is what we are going to do for you, give us this time frame and what have you, and it has not happened, then it means that it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, just as I said earlier. And then we are looking at the standard of education here. If it is in order, why should government officials be taking their children outside of this country? Then that answers the whole question, that the government up to today are still falling short as far as the attention to education is concerned. So it is both issue of negotiation and agreement and budgetary. Because if you don't have failure in negotiation, if you don't fail, the only way you can show that you are not failing to keep to your agreement as negotiated is for us to see, the budget reflecting the values you claim to hold for education. So it is both ways. both the fact that there is failure to abide by agreement reached, and then which is now reflecting on the budget that where a very little percentage of our budget is being allocated for education development in this country.
So in other words, it is negotiation delay.
Yes, now we are not even talking about negotiation delay, because negotiations have been on year after year. And if you look at the public space, you discover that they are talking about negotiations again. Like, how long is this going to continue? Why can't the government for once understand that education is very, very important for the future of our nation? Education is very, very important in determining where we stand among communities of nation. For them to say, okay, time for us to give priority to our education sector is now.
So what does this actually mean to the average Nigerian students, their graduation dates? Because some students were supposed to be writing their final exams, and this indefinite strike is something that will keep them back, maybe at home for the next 3 months, which we are not even sure if this indefinite strike is going to last for 1 month or 2 months or thereabout, and it is a delay. So what does this have to say? What does it mean for the average Nigerian students' graduation dates?
If you are looking at SANU and NASU strike, it's even worse than ASU strike. But a lot of us, we don't understand, because ASU is a collection of lecturers. A lot of us that went through school, they are the people we actually have interaction with in the classroom that we are sent to. So, ASU strike tend to carry wave. But if you look at it critically, if you look at it deeply, you will see that NASU and SANU, their strike is even more potent than ASU strike, in the sense that they are the ones that hold the key to the university. Now, if you have a ASU strike, for example, students can go into the school and do some administrative work. Let's say those activities that their lecture did not permit them to do, they can continue. But if ASU and NASU, if SANU and NASU are on strike, they hold the key to the university. It means that every year is paralyzed. Even the lecturers themselves can't even access the classrooms. So now there was a period where we had double effect in a particular level in our university. Meaning that, for example, a set of students are in year 1, and then while SANU, NASU, ASU are on strike, JAMB is going on with its activities of admitting another set into the university.
Exactly.
Now, why the last set that they admitted are in year 1, they are in year 1 in their fathers and mother houses. Then JAMB is conducting another set of exams to admit another set into year 1, and then if care is not taken,
you'll end up having year 1B.
Yes, we have year 1, yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, number 1, the university infrastructure is going to be choked. Then when it is time for graduation, of course, man-hour has been lost. When we talk about man-hour, we are not talking about 1 day, we are not talking about 2 days, we are talking about time running into months, such that we'll now find a situation where these students are not graduating at the time due. And the effect of that is massive, because a year lost in the life of a human being is a lot. It can actually change the trajectory of the destiny of a human being. So this is one reason why the government cannot continue to stay aloof, why our university and those who run it continue to suffer.
So in your final analysis, what's your advice to the federal government in terms of political stability in Nigerian education sector?
Well, it's simple. It's simple. They know what to do. It's not that they don't know. We just said here that they take their children abroad for. They see the infrastructure there. They see the way staff are being treated. They see everything. They see how the government of the country they take their children to prioritize education. What is stopping them from replicating same? Now, from time to time, our public officials, are sent abroad for one training or the other, across various sectors: agriculture, education, economy, politics. Just mention it. What are they bringing back? Is it mere formality, or the right thing is being done? So the government should know that they need to be doing the right thing, and that the right thing need to be done in order to salvage our education sector, so that the future leaders will not continue to find themselves in a state of quagmire as far the formation of their human capital content is concerned.
All right, thank you so much, Vincent. We hope we've been able to answer most of your questions. That's it on today's edition of Citizens Dialogue. Many thanks, Okoro, for joining us on the show.
Always my pleasure, Cassie.
And to you, our amazing viewers, many thanks for watching. I am Cassie Tony, reminding you to stay informed and stay ahead. And do well to join us next time for more breaking news across Nigeria. Do have a beautiful day.